Good afternoon to you and welcome to your main newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Hundreds of millions in old age pension payments accounted for at GPAOC. Kaieteur News website under constant attack and appears to be sophisticated strategy attempt to make site inaccessible according to chief IT technician. 2 teens dead and several injured after bus turned turtle. And Gao ready to stand with fired Gibbsy worker. Prison beef leads to street shooting of raw dog. And GPHC performing successful kidney transplant surgery on Grenadian doctor. Meanwhile, ExxonMobil to host last 2 scoping meetings on 900 million gas to energy project this week. Stay tuned. After the break, the news in details comes up.
Guyana, have you heard of the resource curse? My name is Melina Harris and I'm a writer and journalist. I've been investigating the oil and gas sector and looking at the various impacts it's having on Guyana. Political, socio-economic and environmental changes are all happening right now. How will these changes impact you and how can you hold your government accountable? Tune into Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM at 6:30 p.m. this Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday to find out what the resource curse means for you.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly yesterday told that the Guyana Post Office Corporation, GPOC, is unable to account for hundreds of millions of dollars meant for the monthly payments of old age pension. The vexing issue was first raised by the Auditor General in his 2016 report on the government accounts, which had found that the payments vouchers could not be reconciled. Auditor General Deodat Sharma has since ordered that the accounts be closed in order to facilitate an in-depth reconciliation of monies. The committee heard that the monies do not account for 1 year but rather obtained over a number of years, but by 2016, the year under the review, the amount had reached some $594 million. The information was had as the committee grilled the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, Mrs. Hussein Ottar, over the unaccounted money. Information Communications Technology technician attached to Kaieteur News has detected what they have described as a collective and continued effort to bring down the website that appears to be well funded. According to the publication's ICT chief, among a month ago, the technicians detected the distributed denial of service DDoS software attempted to make the website inaccessible. It was explained that ordinary these programs can be paid for on the dark web by companies offering such services for as little as $20. The aim of DDoS programs are meant to overwhelm them with more traffic than the server or network can accommodate. The technician said, however, that given the level of nature of the attacks, it appears to be a well-funded initiative. Similar attempts were being made to prevent access to the Kaieteur News' online server during the reporting on Baishan Ling and other such Chinese companies and the operations locally. The recent attack, however, are more sophisticated and strategic. 2 teenagers are dead and several persons are injured after the bus in which they were traveling in turned turtle several times at around 22 hours 30 on Sunday along the Diamond Public Road, Eastbank, Demerara. The bus was involved in the accident and was driven by 23-year-old Kevon Moore of 5-door Coca Dam, Eastbank, Demerara. The deceased are 18-year-old Alia Edwards and 17-year-old Anthony Prasad, both of Landon Canaan of the Eastbank of Demerara. It is understood that the minibus was proceeding south along the eastern carriageway of the Diamond Public Road at a very fast rate when the driver lost control of it. The minibus reportedly turned turtle several times and eventually came to a halt in a south-eastern direction. The oil and gas branch of GAO is ready to represent the local workers who have been fired from the Guyana Shore Basin Incorporated after their complaints about unfavorable working conditions were published by Kaieteur. Even as it described the workers' action as justifiable, GAO in a release highlighted the Prevention of Discrimination Act, which speaks of equal work for equal pay, and insisted that to do otherwise is a clear breach of the law. calling the company's decision to terminate the workers after highlighting their legitimate concerns as ambiguous and high-handed. Gao stated that it appears as though the shore-based decision is an attempt to intimidate workers and continue its seemingly exploitive ways. Meanwhile, former inmate Raul Franklin, also known as Raul Dog, is currently a patient at the Georgetown Public Hospital after being shot Sunday evening. According to a police report, the 33-year-old ex-con was riding his pedal cycle heading to a gambling shop at Sparrendam Squatting Area, East Coast, Demerara, when he was confronted by the suspected shooter, who was identified by Sarkilla and Dutchy. It was revealed that Franklin and the suspect are known to each other. Franklin claimed that while he was on remand at the Lusignan prison, he met the suspect who would from time to time send him death threats. While on his way to the shop at 21 hours 45, the victim said that he was stopped by the suspect, who was on the access bridge to the squatting area at the time. The suspect then shot the victim Raw Dog to his right side hip, and he then ran away in an unknown direction. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and the 99.5 FM. More news after the break. Stay with us. Public advisory, service interruption. Commuters and marine operators are advised that the Broadways River Bridge will be closed for both vehicular and marine traffic to facilitate scheduled prevention maintenance work on Wednesday, 21st of July from 14 hours 10 to 17 hours 10. The Broadways Bridge Company, Inc. apologizes for any inconvenience caused. Welcome back and thank you for joining us. Headed by transplant surgeon Dr. Kaieteur Prasad, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation on June 14, 2021 performed the institution's first international kidney transplant procedure on Grenadian Dr. Jermaine Bristol. The successful procedure, which was regarded as a milestone, was conducted by Dr. Prasad and his team. An elated Dr. Bristol is now able to live a normal life again after her 19-year-old son, Giron Bristol, donated a kidney to facilitate the procedure. Dr. Bristol, during a press conference yesterday at the GPHC, told members of the media that it has been a long and challenging journey since being diagnosed with kidney failure back in 2012. Since the kidney transplant procedure is not readily offered in Grenada, the doctor said that Guyana was highly recommended to her. Not only was the surgery being done free in Guyana, the doctor noted that Dr. Prasad was also highly recommended to her. Meanwhile, ExxonMobil, with the support of the EPA, will be hosting the last two scoping meetings for the $900 million gas energy project this week. On July 22nd at 16 hours, a meeting will be held at the Potentia Primary School. The following day will see an engagement at the town hall at Regina at 9 a.m. Several scoping meetings were held over the last few days to solicit issues or questions citizens desire to have ExxonMobil address in its Environmental Impact Assessment EIA for the project. An EIA is a process that involves evaluating the likely impacts of a proposed project or development, while taking into account the interrelated socio-economic, culture, and human health impacts which are beneficial and adverse. Stay with us after the break. Your page 7 comes your way.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
It is time for your page 7 of the Kaieteur News that is dedicated to being blunt. The World Bank is not in this country's corner. The World Bank has sold us out just like government in opposition by painting a rosy picture on Guyana's oil while looking the other way with climate change. It is not Kaieteur News saying this, but a watchdog, a UK NOG. The World Bank people are looking out for their own interests, meaning America and Europe, and not for Guyana. The World Bank is as good as in bed. That should be the World Bank is as good as in bed with eggs on, but tries and fails to pretend that it's clean and pure and faithful to Guyana's interests. Guyanese had better get some sense, and quickly. With that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99. For the news and the technical team of your Tuesday afternoon to practice social distancing and the Kaieteur News comes up Tuesday.
Want value